Hey there, Mel Abraham here from Thoughtpreneur Academy. In this video, we're going to talk about how do you use content to deliver the right message at the right time. So stay tuned. All right, so here's the deal. When we're putting content out there, there's a couple things that need to happen if your content is going to be engaging. We need to, one, meet our market and our audience where they're at. If we don't meet them where they're at, we're not going to connect with them and have that conversation. Second, we actually need to speak the language that they want to hear. What do I mean by that? There was a book that came out in 1966 by Eugene Schwartz called Breakthrough Advertising. He's the godfather of direct response advertising, and this book has been a treatise for decades and still today. It's hard to get today, but you're talking about the people like Ogilvy have used it. And in that book, he talks about something called the levels of market awareness. And I think that when you start to understand the levels of market awareness, you start to realize that maybe you're putting the wrong content in front of the right audience at the wrong time. And we're going to try and solve that for you here today. So let's jump to the iPad and let's walk through the levels of awareness and how it applies to thought leadership in your content. So at the very base, at the very start of this, your audiences are going to be at different levels of awareness. And what do I mean by awareness? In other words, are they aware of you? Are they aware of your brand? Are they aware of your product, your services? Are they even aware that you exist? And in fact, that's the very first stage, is that the market is unaware. Let me take you through the levels, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to put in front of them to make sure your content lands. So from the unaware stage, this is an audience that knows nothing about you, knows nothing about your products, services. They don't even have an understanding of the problems that exist. They're completely unaware. Now, the next stage is that you've got an audience that is what we call pain aware. In other words, they understand that there's a problem out there. Now, maybe they understand it because they are feeling the pain, or maybe they understand it because someone articulated it. Maybe you articulated to them in a way that they say, wait a second, I have that, I'm dealing with that, I need that solution. So what happens is they go from unaware to aware of the pain. Then from the pain aware, they'll move to the next stage. Now that next stage is actually solution aware. They're just aware of the pain. They don't know that there's a solution, whether it's, I don't have cash flow, I can't get my content in front of people, I'm not getting the sales, or I'm getting high refund rates, whatever that pain is. They're aware of the pain. They don't know what the solution is. So now what you do is you try to elevate them so they become solution aware, but they don't know if there's anything that solves it for them. So they understand, I need a solution, but they don't know what the solution is. That's when they go to the next stage, and that's what we call product aware. And when they're product aware, now all of a sudden, they start to realize that there are solutions out there, and they're looking at them. This is when they're doing the Google searches, they're looking at the customer reviews, they're looking at the Yelp reviews. They know that there is a product out there that can solve their problems. They just don't know whether you're the right product. And then at the highest level of awareness, of market awareness, is what we call them most aware. Now, this is someone that has researched it, that has understood it, they've been around it, they know what the products are, they understand the pain, they know what the solutions are. They just need to make a decision. And you want that decision to be working with you, to buy your products, your services, your programs. So let's talk about how this fits in. This is the Eugene Schwartz's model, but how does it fit in the thought leader space, in the difference maker space? Here's the interesting thing. We're going to talk about two things. One, what your focus should be, and what the kind of content you want to put out. If I'm dealing at the unaware level, at the base level, they're clueless about the information, they're clueless about any of that. What we need to do is primarily focus on idea acceptance. They need to get opened up to the possible idea that maybe there's something they are unaware of. And the way you do that is you put thought reversal or belief content out in front of them. Because that's going to start to adjust their thinking, to open their eyes, if you will, to what is possible, what might be there in their blind spot that they actually don't see. Now, all of a sudden, they're aware, they become pain aware. Here's where we now do something what we call pain extension. They may understand the pain, but they don't understand the consequences of the pain. And so the content, if your market, if the audience you're speaking to is pain aware, the content you want to put in front of them is not necessarily thought reversal belief videos or content. It's more around consequence and motivation. What we need them to understand is the long-term impact of not changing or changing. And we want to give them that content there. So we meet them where they're at, we speak their language, and we move them forward. Now they're pain aware, they're looking for the solution. So the solution is about giving them understanding. Now they're researching the different possible solutions. We need to make sure they understand our solution. And when we do that, what our primary type of content we put in front of them is called the value visual content. In other words, we're establishing the value of the work that we do in their world. So we're going to put value visual content in front of them at that point. Now they move and they say, all right, I know the pain, I know the solutions, I have an idea of the products, they're product aware. What's our focus here? The focus here is all about differentiation. And the content you want to put in front of them at that point is case studies. Putting case studies in front of them will allow them to differentiate the good, the bad, the ugly, why they should be working with you, and if it resonates, which then takes us to the most aware. They know the products, they know the services, they know the solutions, they know the pain, they understand all of it. So our focus here is to get a call to action, and the content we put in front of them at that stage is about urgency. It's about making sure that there's an immediate need for them to make a decision. So this is Eugene Schwartz's levels of market awareness, but built around the idea of how it impacts you as a difference maker, how it impacts you in the construct of how do you become differentiated out in the marketplace? How do you make sure you resonate and reach the market, the two of the three pillars of the Legacy Maker formula? So when you are clear on the level of market awareness and you understand the Legacy Maker formula, then your ability to elevate yourself to difference maker, to have the impact you want to have, is much, much easier. So here's the thing that I'd love to invite you to, is I've got a free training where we're going to go deep dive into the Legacy Maker formula and the three pillars of the Legacy Maker formula. What does it take to differentiate yourself, to stand out, to make sure that your points hit home with your audience and land? How do you then understand how to reach, how to build your reach, your credibility, your platform, your positioning as the authority in the space? And then the third pillar is the prescription. How do you monetize what you know? How do you scale it? How do you do it in such a way that you hit your income goals and you hit your impact goals? So I have this free training that I want to invite you to. Use the link somewhere around this video to join me in that free training. Let's get you around the right market awareness. Let's build your difference maker business. Let's get your message out in the world and get you to have the kind of impact you were meant to have. I look forward to seeing you on the training. So James Wedmore tried to reframe it by saying, well, if you're worth $8,000 per tooth, think about what happens when you extrapolate it across your whole body. Gone. Thanks, James. That made me feel a whole lot better.